Greetings, my dear friends. Today I want to tell you about one of the most mysterious pages in the history of the 20th century. About a man who was a national hero of the United States. About his secret diary, which was hidden from the public for decades. About an encounter that could not have happened. About a land that should not exist. The diary of Admiral Richard Byrd. This is Dreamweaver Mystics, as always. And let me say right away, everything you are about to hear is only my thoughts and guesses. I do not claim to know the truth. I simply read, compare, and stand in awe. Who was Richard Evelyn Byrd? Few people know that name today, but once he was a legend. The first person to fly over the North Pole. An explorer, a discoverer, a national hero of America. He received the Medal of Honor, the highest military award in the United States. He was friends with presidents. His name was on everyone's lips. Admiral, polar aviator, Freemason, member of the patriotic organization the Sons of the American Revolution. A man who knew secrets beyond the reach of ordinary mortals, and who took those secrets with him to the grave. Or did he? In 1947, Byrd led Operation Highjump, the largest Antarctic expedition in history. Thousands of personnel, dozens of ships, aircraft carriers, submarines, planes. The official goal: exploration of Antarctica, mapping, personnel training. But why so many military resources? Why an aircraft carrier and submarines to explore ice? Why 4,700 people? Officially, the operation was cut short after 8 weeks instead of the planned 6 months. The press release stated, due to the onset of winter cold. But some crew members told a very different story. Many years after his passing in 1957, a mysterious document was published. It was called Admiral Byrd's Secret Diary. Allegedly, it was written by him in 1956, a year before the end of his life. And it was kept secret for decades. The authenticity of this document is still fiercely debated. Skeptics claim it is a forgery, created in the 1970s by the Hollow Earth Society and a man named Captain Susha, who sold copies of secret diaries to anyone who would buy them. But the content of this text is so detailed, so unusual, that it gives pause even to those who do not believe in secrets. I have read it many times, and I could not shake the feeling that I was reading not fiction, but a witness's testimony. Let me share some fragments with you. February 19th, 1947, 6 a.m., Arctic Base. All preparations for our northern flight are complete. At 6:10, we take off with full fuel tanks. Byrd believed he was flying toward the North Pole, but something went wrong. At 9:10 a.m., he noticed vast ice expanses beneath his plane. But the ice had a strange coloration, yellowish, and in places, reddish. We circle this area twice and return to our course. And then the inexplicable happens. Compasses and gyroscopes begin to spin and tremble. Instruments fail. 9:15 a.m. Mountains appear in the distance. Mountains that should not be there. They are not on any map, but they are there. Byrd gains altitude. 10 a.m. Beyond the mountains, an unexpected green valley opens up with a river. There should be no greenery here. This is Antarctica. This is the Arctic. Endless ice should stretch below. But beneath the plane's wings, green hills and forests on the slopes. The navigation instruments are still not working. 10:05 a.m. He descends to 1,400 feet. The light around him becomes strange. He cannot see the sun, but everywhere there is an even, soft glow. He sees a huge animal below. An elephant? No, a mammoth. A creature that, according to official science, became extinct thousands of years ago, wandering through a green valley. Next, he sees a city pulsing with crystalline lights, surrounded by a shimmering haze. Then the plane ceases to respond to control. It seems to drift with the current, and strange flying craft appear on either side. They are disc-shaped, glowing, moving silently. They bear symbols resembling a swastika. 11:35 a.m. The radio begins to crackle, and a voice comes through the speakers in clear English with a slight Scandinavian or German accent. It says, "Admiral, welcome to our domain. We will land you in exactly 7 minutes. Relax, Admiral. You are in safe hands." The plane's engines stop on their own. The machine descends smoothly, as if lowered on an invisible elevator. Byrd and his radiomen are met by people, tall, blonde, with blue eyes. Their appearance and manner are friendly and courteous. Their city glows, and the architecture resembles the creations of Frank Lloyd Wright or the set of a futuristic science fiction film. Byrd is invited inside a huge building. He is given a warm drink with a divine taste. Then he is separated from his radio man and led to an elevator that descends deep underground. A corridor bathed in pink light emanating directly from the walls. A large door with unfamiliar inscriptions opens, and he enters. There, a man meets him. With fine features, with deep wrinkles, traces of many years lived, but with a piercing, wise gaze. This man, called the Master, says that he is in an underground world inhabited by an ancient civilization called Arianni, or Aryan. Their science and culture are thousands of years ahead of those on the surface, and he says that Byrd was invited not by chance. They have been watching humanity, and what they have seen has alarmed them. "Your race," the Master tells him, "has reached a point of no return. There are among you those who would rather destroy the whole world than give up their power." He says they tried to contact the leaders of humanity after the atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. Their emissaries were met with hostility, and their flying craft, Flugelrads, winged discs, were attacked. They do not want a new war on the surface, which would only lead to destruction. They want to warn humanity, and Byrd's mission is to deliver that warning. Then the conversation ends. The Admiral is returned to the surface. March 1947. Byrd is at the Pentagon. He reports everything he saw and heard. The President is informed. For the next 6 hours and 40 minutes, Byrd is subjected to harsh interrogation by security forces and a medical team. He is ordered to remain silent, forever. In 1956, a year before his passing, the Admiral makes a final entry in his secret diary. He writes, "I have seen this land beyond the pole, this center of the great unknown. I have done my duty before the monstrous military-industrial complex. Now the long night approaches, but there will be no end. As soon as the long night of the Arctic ends, the magnificent sunlight of truth will come again, and those who are in darkness will fall in this light. For I have seen this land beyond the pole, that center of the great unknown." After this entry, his diary was hidden, or destroyed, or classified for decades. I cannot say for certain that Byrd's diary is true. Critics point to many inconsistencies. How could Byrd in February 1947 fly over the North Pole when at the same time he was commanding the massive Antarctic expedition, Operation Highjump, and was in the southern hemisphere? Proponents of the legend counter. For the initiated, distances do not exist. Or perhaps the flight was made during a brief stopover. Or perhaps we are looking for the truth in the wrong place. Proponents of the mystery emphasize something else. Why would the United States need to send an entire fleet to Antarctica if not to search for exactly this? Why was the operation suddenly cut short? And why, when Byrd returned, did he meet with the president privately and write in his personal notes that he was silenced? Was this a real experience? A hallucination? Or a deliberate hoax created to hide the truth about Byrd's real discoveries? Or perhaps it is not a hoax at all, but a documentary testimony whose veracity we simply do not want to admit because it shatters our familiar picture of the universe. Somewhere down there, beneath the ice shelves, in the depths of the planet, a civilization may exist. Not fictional, not mythical, real. And one day, perhaps, we will meet it. Byrd's diary is not just a text, it is a cipher, a message, a bridge between worlds. And while we speculate whether it is truth or forgery, somewhere down there, in the depths, life may continue. A life we do not know about. A life we have lost, or have not yet found. And that is all for today. This was Dreamweaver Mystics. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. I read the comments. And write, do you believe in Admiral Byrd's diary? Do you consider this story truth, fiction, or something in between? I read everything. And remember, somewhere beyond the ice wall, there may be an entrance. The only question is who will knock and whether the door will be opened. Until next time.